Man, what's up, man? How are y'all? Like, I don't know why I asked that question as though you all can actually speak back to me because you're watching the video, so it's not like you can actually answer. But if you did answer, shout out to you. And if not, that's cool too, because I can understand how silly you probably must feel because I can't hear you. But, if you did answer, that's cool too.
Mind on Yahweh, anything else don't digest right. Sneaker head, the kicks got kicks. You don't want no smoke if you laying out Christ. Icon, that's her in a nutshell. Focused on Christ and it goes well. That's why they still pulling on the coattail. People don't.
Oh, my good people. I just wanted to do something a little different. About 3 to 6 months ago, it might have been over the summer, I posted a question on one of my social media platforms just asking everybody if they had any questions specifically to me or for me or about the brand or whatever the case may be, about sneakers, whatever. And so I just kind of wanted to change the scenery. As you can see, let me go close this door. Hold on, because y'all can't be seeing. I apologize. And I kind of compiled just a few of them. I'm not going to give you all of them, so that we could just kind of get to know each other. You kind of get to know me and who this person is that you watch all the time and the stuff that she talks about. And so let's just get right into it, because I have quite a few. I have my water. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like water, and I have been drinking it. As you can see, I did not pour this out, so this was not staged, okay? I really am drinking water. Just give me a sec. But I got the living water, though, so I really don't need this water, because technically, that's how churchy people are. Just drink the water. There's that. Like Nike, just do it. Question number 1, what event created your love for sneakers? Now, I kind of saw this as a trick question because there really wasn't an event per se that sparked my love for sneakers. If I could just be completely honest with you, it was just the fact that I had been able to have sneakers when I was little. So my mom had me at a young age. I was raised by her and really my grandmother. And so, money just wasn't going to be put towards those types of things. It was just mostly the necessities. And don't get me wrong, my mom made sure that I was in, a lot of name brand things. So back then, the go-to was the Baby Fats and the Fubu's and the Polo Ralph Lauren's and the Tommy Hilfiger. So, but you could get those in Marshalls, at the time. And so, or TJ Maxx or Ross. So, my mama just didn't believe in spending money frivolously like that. So it went towards things that she knew that we needed. And so because of that, I can honestly say that I think my love for sneakers really sparked in a lack. And so what do I mean by that? Well, one of the major social scenes in any school is typically the lunchroom. And in the lunchroom, when I was in elementary and middle school, I would always look at the other kids and look at their shoes and see that they had the newest kicks and Jordans, and I would always want it. And I would just remember just telling myself, man, when I get rich, because every little kid thinks they're gonna be rich. When I get rich, I'm gonna buy all of these shoes. Not really knowing that I really would grow up to buy all of these shoes. Now, some of the shoes haven't come back out, but we'll get more into my list of shoes that I really, really love, because that's one of the questions in a little bit. So, but I hope I answered your question as far as my love for sneakers. Now, although you all didn't ask this question, you probably want to know, like, as far as just when did you realize that sneakers and Jesus could go together? Well, in my previous job, I was considered a higher education advisor. And what I found is that my sneakers, whenever I wore sneakers, students were more apt to come in and actually talk to me and develop a bond. And so I was able to actually help them get to whatever their next phase of life was going to be after high school. So I kind of started to pay attention to that and took note of that. And so I had one student that came in. They weren't necessarily the smartest people on paper, But I knew otherwise because I know my students. And so they wanted to apply for a scholarship. They didn't know where to start. And so as I kept getting more and more into the conversation, I just started asking next level questions, open-ended questions, if you will, to try to see what it is that they liked. And come to find out, they liked sneakers. And so I said, well, me too. And while that may seem a little bit trivial or even childish, the cool thing is that we were able to take their love for sneakers. Like, they were able to talk about the background of it and how it came about and the colorway and the person to which the shoe was named after and the reason that it was. And so I began to kind of just let them know, like, okay, you are actually, if I were reading this, I would think, man, they're good at history, or they're really good at details, and so they know the context behind things. They can critically think. And so all of these things were put together, and they were able to write an essay, and they were able to get a scholarship to be able to attend school. And so I just, through that, it made me realize that this is a ministry. I don't think that it was by happenstance that whenever I do interact with a student, the first thing that they typically approach me about is my sneakers. And so it's like, oh, by the way, do you have a plan? Okay, so do you have a plan for that plan? And so, through that, it kind of just birthed this ministry with which I like to call Sneak Her Head. God gave me the idea after my dad passed away. My dad would always come into my room and tell me that I need to make or find a way to make my sneakers work for me. He never understood why I had so many pairs of shoes, but I only had 2 feet. But it's because, a girl needs options. And so there you have it. Sneak Her Head was birthed out of that. And so the brand consists of fashion, sneakers, education, and above all, Christ. Is one of my top or my favorite retros. My number one retro, and then after this, it won't be in any particular order. Them V13s, y'all. If I ever get my hands on that shoe, listen, I'm finna do some damage in a good way. Yeah, my other favorite retros, Cool Gray 11s. I don't even own a pair. Fun fact. Let's see, Flu Games. I don't own a pair. Fun fact. Let's see. Of course, the Concords, you can't go wrong with those, but I have a pair of those. And I really don't think the retro should be exclusively for Jordans only, because there is another pair of sneakers that my mom did buy, but she bought them because they weren't as expensive, and they are the Grant Hill 2 Feelers, or Felines, however y'all say it. The classic ones, the all-white one with the navy trim. Whew, you can tell me nothing. I wore those shoes with everything, even if they didn't match. Like, I loved those shoes, and I actually just bought a pair maybe a year ago because of the nostalgia of it, and I can remember where I was when I got those shoes, and when I was younger. So like I said, those are just a few of my favorite retros. Now, if you want to go into my wish list, we can do that. Let's see, my wish list. My wish list would have to be the Fear of God oatmeals. I really, really want a pair of those, man. If I can find those, ew. I want the turbo green Jordan 1s. I do want a high-end pair of sneakers, but I work in education, so I can't afford that. I just can't. But I really would like a little pair of Gucci's or whatnot. I would like that. Rookie of the years. I've been trying to find some rookie of the years. I can't find them in my size. Shout out to my boy Blue the Great. I really want a pair of Blue the Greats. But again, it's really hard to find them in my size for a reasonable price. So I believe that's 5. I think 5 is enough, right? I think that's enough. A good little wish list. Next question was, how do you match your shoes with your outfit? And my answer is simple. I don't. A lot of times what you see is just a result of me just going in there and just finding the first thing I see and just piecing it together. And I really don't match I think that you actually come up with your best outfits when it appears that it's all over the place, but there really is a method to your madness. Because really and truly, there have been some times where I have utterly just went in there and just kind of closed my eyes and picked out something and then went out into public, and I've gotten the most compliments. Because I'm a firm believer that it's not the clothes or the shoes that makes the person, it's the person that really does add value to all of those things. It took a person to make those things. So if you just think about it and just put your priorities in the right place, you'll come to find that, I mean, who cares about, matching? Just do you. So this wasn't a question, but I felt like it was a good thing to do, just to kind of just give you all just a little context about the brand. Whenever I am doing a shoe review and I'm describing the shoe and I'm giving you the backdrop and the context and the background and all of that, I liken it to getting to know a person. At that time, I am introducing you to a shoe maybe that you don't know, or maybe you have seen it before. Maybe you own that shoe, but still, the premise of it is to understand that everybody has a story, whether you have known them for a while or not. There are still some things that you may not know, and so that is how we are to look at people. Everybody has a story, and it's that story that makes that shoe so special, and it's that story that makes that person so special. So I just want to invite you during this time of social distancing to just get to know people, the people that labor among you. And so all I simply do is just take that and then I couple it with the greatest thing of all, which is the Word of God. And man, I'm telling you, it's something special. And so I do hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Nothing special, nothing fancy. No shoes today. I talked about a lot of shoes, a lot of different shoes, but what I really wanted is for you all to just get to know me, like I said, and in hopes that you would help me spread this gospel. Like always, I guess that's it. Like, share, love, subscribe, all of that. Turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be the first to know. And I'm signing off. Good God, good shoes. This is Sneak Her Head. Follow me as I follow Christ and some dope kicks.